Jake Paul versus Iron Mike Tyson. It's the morning after, the night before, and we have a lot to discuss and unpack here. Now, first things first, I've got two polls on the screen that I conducted before the fight was scheduled to take place. And it's interesting because the majority of people who voted in the polls picked Mike Tyson to win, and more so by knockout. Hardly anyone gave Jake Paul a chance to win on points. So I want to hear from all of you what you thought was going to happen, if it did happen, and why you picked what you picked. Were you surprised? Were you disappointed? Was it what you expected? Let me know in the comments because I really want to hear about this. For me personally, it was what I expected. Mike Tyson's a 58-year-old man, and he looked every bit a 58-year-old man in there. After the third round, it didn't look like he had much left at all, which is fine. That's to be expected. I don't have an issue with that. Jake Paul appeared to be standing off him and not willing to go all out. I mean, even at one point in the fifth or sixth round, Rosie Perez, the commentator, clearly said, why isn't Jake Paul teeing off on Mike Tyson right now? So, yeah, it was what it was. I mean, at the end of the fight, before the final bell even rang, Jake Paul was bowing and doing all this to Mike Tyson. They were hugging each other and the crowd were booing. There was some sort of unspoken agreement there where Mike Tyson wasn't getting knocked out. And I'm personally cool with that. I'm happy with that. As a kid, Mike Tyson made me fall in love with boxing and made many other people fall in love with boxing. The image of him laid out on the canvas or bleeding out of it at the hands of Jake Paul is not something that I wanted to see. No. So I'm glad we didn't get to see that. And I think it's the best case scenario for all involved. Mike Tyson goes home 20 million richer. His fans got to see him in the ring one last time. It was a massive event. Jake Paul made a lot of money. Everyone's a winner, in my opinion. So I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with it. I'm interested to see what happens next, because after the fight, Mike Tyson called out Logan Paul, which I found interesting. And Logan Paul said he would kill Mike. So that intrigues me. I don't really want to see Mike Tyson in again with someone in their physical peak and 20, 30 years younger than him. If he wants to go again, maybe Lennox Lewis or Evander Holyfield would be more appropriate. Someone like that, similar in age and at the same stage in life. Jake Paul, he called out Canelo Alvarez, which I found interesting. I doubt that will happen, but why not? You got to shoot your shot and put it out there. I think maybe for him, a Tommy Fury rematch makes sense now. That's the only loss on his record, and his only fight against a real boxer. And in his mind, I guess he would have improved a lot by now and had time to push on. So maybe it's the right time to revisit that rematch and try and get his lick back and put that right. But what do you people want to see next? Do you want to see Jake Paul go again against someone like Mike Tyson, or do you want to see him against another MMA guy? Do you want to see a Tommy Fury rematch? Would you like to see Canelo Jake Paul? Because there's only one way that goes, in my opinion, and I don't think it would make sense. I guess it makes a lot of money and people would still watch it. And for Mike Tyson, what do you want to see? Are you happy you got to see him again and you just want him to call it a day now and enjoy his millions? Or would you be interested in seeing him in the ring again after that performance? Because I think people are kind of a lot clearer now on where Mike Tyson is at as far as boxing. So knowing what you know now and what you didn't know before the fight, does seeing Mike Tyson fight again interest you still? I want to touch on Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor too, because that was amazing. I mean, that was the highlight of the night for me. It was the thing I was most looking forward to, and it didn't fail to deliver. I mean, the lead commentator at one point said, this is like the Ali Fraser of women's boxing. And I totally get that comparison. When I was watching, what came to mind for me was Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward, that trilogy of fights, because it had that feel to it, the first fight and the second fight, just non-stop action. They were like rock'em sock'em robots in there, just trading leather, and no one wanted to take a backward step, and you had the cut and the blood, and still they just kept going, and it was a fight of the year contender for me. One of the best women's boxing fights I've ever seen. I was really happy about that, and it was an amazing advertisement for boxing. The only thing I am disappointed about is the result. Now, I say this as someone who's been a fan of Katie Taylor from the start of her professional career. I even watched her in the London 2012 Olympics and respect everything she's accomplished. Huge amount of respect for her as a fighter, but I don't see how she didn't lose that fight. I mean, even a draw would have been generous to Katie Taylor. And I am the kind of person who doesn't like to use the word robbery. I mean, we see a lot of close fights in boxing, like Bivol, Beterbiev, you know, Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin, #2. Close competitive fights. And I'll have an opinion on it. If it goes the other way, I'm not going to call it a robbery. I'll say, look, it's subjective, it's boxing, it's what the judges like, fair enough. I don't agree, but I can see how you might see it that way. This fight, it was a robbery to me. There's no way Katie Taylor didn't lose. Amanda Serrano won that fight. And I'm gutted for her because she came through hell to put in an amazing performance like that and has nothing to show for it. It's like, even with the cut, fighting with her vision impaired, and she had that urgency about her to try and get the job done because she was worried about the cut. It took away from what was a great fight to me. And it's something in boxing that keeps coming up time and time again, and something that maybe needs to be looked at, the scoring system and the judging, if there's another way, because a performance like that should be rewarded. And I don't know, we have to see it a third time, I think. Hopefully it goes Amanda Serrano's way, because I think she's been in 2 close fights with Katie Taylor now and hasn't had the luck with the judges. But no, amazing fight. I loved it. For you people, what was the highlight of the night? Was it Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano? Was it the main event? Did it live up to expectations? Do you feel disappointed? Are you happy you watched it? Was it what you signed up for? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear everyone's opinions, because this is a really unique event. I can't remember another event in boxing quite like it. It's had a lot of interest in it, a lot of people talking about it, and I want to hear what everyone's opinions are in the aftermath, because I've literally just watched it. I haven't had the chance to talk to anyone or discuss it yet. Yeah, get in the comments and let's all discuss and see what everyone's thinking. This Saturday, today, we've got Zurdo Ramirez versus Chris Billam-Smith in a cruiserweight unification. Another great boxing fight. I'm definitely tuning in for that. Hope you guys are too. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to win? Because that's another banging fight, which I think is going to be all action. I don't know who I'm going to pick for that. I'm sort of on the fence a little bit, but I'm going to go for Chris Billam-Smith. I've picked against Chris Billam-Smith a few times in his career, and he's always proven me wrong. And the guy's got grit. He doesn't take a backward step. He'll leave it all out there. And I know he wants this badly. So I'm going to go for him. And Zurdo, you know, usually he's the bigger guy, but in this fight, he's the smaller guy, you know, with Chris Billam-Smith. He's not going to have that size advantage that he does have. Also, when he fought Bivol, I was expecting him to do a little bit more, and he didn't really deliver in that fight against Bivol. It was very one-sided, and Bivol looked classes apart from him. So at a higher weight class against a seasoned cruiserweight in Chris Billam-Smith, I just feel like Billam-Smith will have the edge. I think he's going to be faster. I think he's going to be more active. I think he's going to fight with a lot of pressure, which Zurdo won't be able to respond to. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Who's your pick for that fight? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're going to be watching that and if you're looking forward to it too. And let's discuss it. But that's it from me today, really. I just wanted to say that and see how we're all feeling about it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay healthy. Enjoy the boxing tonight.